How's it going, guys? So y'all probably don't know this about me, but I am an optimization freak. I want to make sure that I'm etching out every little bit of value in whatever it is I do. You know that I've been looking up guides on how to best optimize my base and what teams are best. If I am trust farming, you know there's going to be no 200%ers in there because that is just wasted value. And you know that if I'm ordering a burrito bowl at Chipotle, there is an optimal way to order your stuff to minimize the percentage of crunch to sogginess in that bowl. Well, today, here's the thing. Arknights, you're coming under some scrutiny because I got some shit to deal with. There is some shit in this game that is not fully optimized and is substantially hurting the way players optimize this game and need to go outside the game for stats. So here's the deal. Your Arknights operators have a bunch of stats, but how those stats interact with each other and why they're displayed as they are is not very clear from within the game, and you actually have to go outside the game to figure out how all these stats work. So what am I talking about? Well, let's jump right in so that we can discuss. So the perfect operator to go over some of these is Angelina. So first off, just so that we all know we're talking about the same thing, you got your max HP, you got your attack, defense, magic resist, redeploy cost, block, and attack speed. So the way attack and defense work, because this is the basic argument I'm talking about here. When you are dealing attack, normal attack, to an enemy, you take their defense, you minus your attack, and that whatever that number is, that's how much health they lose. So if your enemy has 100 defense, you deal 200 attack, they're going to lose 100 health. Easy math. That makes sense, right? So let's say that there's an enemy with her resistance, 25 magic resistance. You take their 25 magic resistance, you subtract her arts damage attack, which is 575, you get minus 550 health, right? No, that's not the case because resistance is by percent. So that is actually a 25% resistance to arts damage. Now, why is that the case? Why do you have an addition subtraction based damage when you have attack and defense, but when it comes to magic resist, all of a sudden you go to percentage based reduction? That makes zero sense. Just make it easier. Keep it your addition subtraction model. Just use a different number for magic resist. Why all of a sudden do you have to throw in a percentage here? And there's no percentage sign. It just says magic resist 25. It doesn't say 25%. There's nowhere in here that tells you that magic resist is based on percentage. So why do they have to switch up the model like that? Just keep it the same, keep it consistent, so that way people know. And if it's not gonna be consistent, just put a little like notification here, a little game tip so that you know it's percentage based. Like, yes, it's easy math. The system itself doesn't bother me. The fact that it's just a base number here and there's no tooltip that says, hey, this is 25%, like, why? It makes no sense. And then the next thing is this attack speed here. Here's the deal. I'm okay if your attack speed is slow or fast or, you know, whatever words they're using. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is how they go about adjusting this, right? Because if you have slow and fast, sure, one of them is going to be faster than the other. I understand that. But if you go to her talent, attack speed +7, well, what's slow +7? Because I sure as hell don't know. I didn't learn that kind of math. I learned math with letters and numbers, but not those kinds of letters and numbers, right? So what does that even mean? And this is actually incredibly relevant when we get to Manticore. Now, if we look at Manticore's attack speed, it says slow, right? If we look at her talent, she stays invisible. She can't be targeted by range units. The first attack made from the invisible state gains plus 50% attack and removes invisibility. She regains the invisible state after not attacking for 5 seconds. And that's cool and all, so after not attacking for 5 seconds, she's gonna gain it again. But how do we optimize that? Because if we look at her skill 2, attack animation and attack interval increase. So she's slowing her attack, but by how much? Is it 4 seconds? Is it 5? Is it 6 seconds? Well, actually, it slows it to 5.2. So she has perfect synergy because right after this 5 seconds, she's going to attack again, enabling her invisibility, which is going to give her an attack boost, which is nice to know when you're looking at her stats in this window, but you wouldn't know that unless you go to a site like A-Ship outside the game. So why would this attack speed not say 3.5 seconds? And then we go in here to interval increase, say what the increase is. If you're going to have numbers like this on her talent where it specifically says after not attacking for 5 seconds, you need to let us know how fast is she actually attacking? We need to know her skills, how much it's actually increasing so that we can optimize this shit. We need to know these numbers. And yes, there are other places you can get them, but those sites are usually used for supplemental material that you can go to, but that information should be in the game in the first place. You should be able to find it in the game. So now we come back to Angelina and we come back to the initial problem where all allies gain an attack speed of +7. +7 what? Well, once you find out when looking through a different site, you find out this is attack speed +7%. But why not just put +7%? It is literally one extra button on the key and it's 2 keys away. You have 7 on key 7 and the percentage sign is on key 5. How hard is it to put all allies attack speed +7%? It's not that difficult. And for some reason it was, and you need to go outside the game to learn what all these numbers are. I don't understand why stuff like this is so difficult. It's just a little quality of life update that they could have put in to make things easier to understand for players. Now I understand if you're a player who's been playing this game for a long time, all this stuff is probably information you already know and you're thinking, why oh why is this guy ranting and raving about information that's so basic to learn, and once you know it, it's easy to understand. Well, players who are just coming in might not know these things. They might not know that, like, Manticore, for example, has perfect synergy with herself because that's not directly listed in her skills. It's not directly listed in her kit. But you have a character like Saria, where her talent, every 20 seconds, she's gaining an attack and defense percentage-based buff. So you can actually look at your Saria's attack and defense and figure out what those numbers are gonna be. But her actual attack speed being average compared to what? If we have a 10-second attacker and a 20-second attacker, sure, she's 15 seconds, but we don't have a gauge on that. I don't know what a fast attacking unit is. And in this game, it's sub 1 second, but what is a slow attacking speed? Is it 5 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? That can drastically change her attack speed. So having those numbers would be super valuable. And again, yes, there are sites like A Ship that you can go to and it will give you all these numbers. It'll give you all these numbers down to fractions of a second if you really want them. But it's one of those things that is just nice to know. It would be so easy to implement, but it hasn't been done. And I don't understand why. It's a simple quality of life fix that could help a lot of players who are just getting into the game and don't necessarily want to go to a supplemental site. So guys, that is all I have for today. I hope you guys stuck around this long, and if you do, hopefully you understand why I'm so ticked off about this. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that Yostar should address them, should change them, make them a little bit simpler for players to understand, or are you okay with how it is and you're okay having to go to a secondary website to find out all that information? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, click that subscribe button. That way you always know when I put out new content just like this. It also lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content. Also, check out my Twitch page, xjazz207. We stream there usually 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, post 8 o'clock Eastern time. But guys, that's all I have for today. I want to thank you very much for sticking around and listening to my rant of the day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!